what would you do if your friend said this? Excuse me, do you have a minute? Hey there, do you have a minute?
Yeah, sure.
So what would you say to a friend if they said this to you? Like any advice, you can write it on the board. Okay, why'd you write that?
I guess just trying to make people feel a bit better about the situation. A slap isn't fine, but when people are in relationships, they fight.
But don't you think there's a difference between having an argument and violence? Because did you know that 1 in 5 young people actually do experience physical abuse?
1 in 5?
Yeah.
Wow, that really surprises me.
Yeah, it's more than you think. Yeah. Do you want to write something different?
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hey.
I was thinking about this statement. What's it talking about? Men or women?
Well, what do you think? Does it matter?
Well, most people would probably think that it's about a woman, but it can be a bit of both, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. Men and women can be victims or perpetrators of abuse. Statistically, it does affect women more. They're more likely to be victims of abuse, but that doesn't mean that we should take male victims less seriously. Do you want to write some advice? What would you say to a friend if they said this to you?
I don't know, Paul, it's not. What would you write?
Okay.
Like, it's your mate, man. You don't,
Exactly,
you don't
yeah,
get
it's-
involved in your mate's affairs. Like,
So you wouldn't get involved even if you knew that something wrong was happening?
I trust him to sort it out. Like,
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's not really our place to question him. You know, he's our mate. We know him. He can sort it out.
well, like, if you like someone and if it's your mate, you assume they do. They wouldn't
Hurt each
want to
other.
hurt someone,
Right.
would they? Like,
But actually, 16 to 17-year-olds are the most likely age to find themselves in an abusive relationship.
really?
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it's probably 25 to 40 who get into this relationship.
Yeah. Well, like you see it in films, don't you? And the
Mm-hmm.
couples are always older. They're married. They're with kids. It's always a massive
Yeah,
deal.
but it actually happens a lot to young people, and so it should be taken just as seriously.
Yeah.
Don't you think that, like, if people challenge this kind of behaviour, then the people who did it would be less likely to get away with it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's difficult, but I guess you've got to level with them really and have a
Yeah,
serious
but
conversation.
What would you
like.
say?
Do you still think it's none of your business?
No. No, sure, no, not at all. I don't know what I'd say, but like, you've got to have a chat, really, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Just, I mean, I would probably erase that. You know, if you change your mind now. Definitely,
Yeah, sure, done, no worries. Definitely is my business.
Definitely.
handwriting's terrible. Know what you're worth. Hashtag move on. Exclamation mark. Yes, move on. Come on.
What would you say to a friend if they said this to you? Why'd you write that?
I just think that because if someone's been cheated on, it's really hard to trust people again. So if that's happened to him, then I don't see why it's a problem that he's checking her messages. Because if she's not doing anything wrong, then it's not a problem. Can basically prove that he can trust her by him reading her messages.
Okay, so actually in England, domestic abuse is now defined as including coercive and controlling behaviour. So checking someone's phone against their will actually falls under that umbrella.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's a form of emotional abuse. So in the same way of threatening to break up with someone if they don't do what you want.
Wow. Okay.
Does that change your advice?
I guess so. I've never looked at it like that before. So scribble it out. Can I do that?
Yeah. What would you say to a friend who said this to you?
I don't think I'd let anyone go through my phone. I'd probably just leave him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to write your advice on the board? So we can begin that. So what if your friend doesn't take your advice? What if they stay?
I think it's kind of her fault. Like, she's the only one to blame.
But in a lot of emotionally abusive relationships, that person is made to feel quite isolated from their friends and family, making it even more difficult for them to leave, and maybe pressuring them to leave might make them feel more isolated.
So what should I do? Just let her stay?
What would you say to a friend if they said this to you?
If a friend said this to me, I'd probably tell them that I think the most important thing about a relationship is having trust. And he's just insecure because he's cheated on me before. I think people shouldn't use their past to try and justify what they're doing, or try to justify, going through someone's messages. That isn't what a relationship's about. You should be able to trust each other. I think it's important, I'd tell my friend that it's important for them to know that their significant other should be treating them with respect and treating them properly.
Awesome, exactly.
Speak sense.
Speak sense.
Speak sense.
Speak sense.